5 Acoli regions can be supplied by one of the plants here with the current demand in Acoli.
Is the manager for ERA office in Gulu. He's the one who is going to take us. All these are cultural leaders.
Yes. As an institution, we decided that we needed to go on ground and be close to the people. And northern Uganda was considered as one of the key areas because it had suffered from both lack of electricity and availability of unstable electricity. So we're like, as government advances projects in the region, let's go and also be on ground because ERA is the eye of the government. Yeah, we license all the operators in the industry. So because of that, we need to supervise them like people call us the policemen. So we are the police of electricity, whereby when your memory fails you, when UEDCL fails you, when transmission fails you, you come to us. So because of the increasing developments in the area, we felt it's necessary to create an office in Gulu. Now, regarding our visit, we are visiting two power stations on one river, but they're in one area. The distance between them could be like 3 or 4 kilometers apart. There's Aswa 1 and Aswa 2. Aswa 2 was constructed before Aswa 1 because of the ease of its location. So they started with Aswa 2, which is 42 megawatts, enough to supply Acoli sub-region with its current demand 5 times. Like 5 Acoli regions, five of them can be supplied by one of the plants here with the current demand in Acoli. Then we have Aswa 1, which is 46 megawatts. That one was commissioned later than Aswa 2. So the two plants together form about 86 megawatts. Currently, that power is transmitted up to Gulu substation on this line that you see running on this side. It comes from the plant to that substation, which is named Agago, then it proceeds to Gulu substation. Gulu takes away what it can use, then the balance moves towards Kole or towards Oluyo. So the one which goes to Oluyo will feed West Nile. The one which goes to Kole will continue through Lira and continue feeding there, so up to where it gets finished. This being a seasonal river, there are times when this river is almost dry. It will have no water. Now in that case, instead of us pumping electricity outside, the other side, especially the River Nile plant, will be pumping electricity towards us. So these lines enable double flow. We can push or receive. So while there, the plant management will take us through. Feel free to ask them any questions. Questions that relate to ERA, I'll try to answer. They're expecting us.
Okay.
So let's get moving.
All right, thank you.
Usually, when we receive any visitors or any new contractors or new staff, the first thing we do is having a health and safety induction for them. The purpose is basically to brief them about how we run this place, and when there are any dangers or any emergencies, there's a way we go about them.
Water from the river and put it onto the channel, to the canal. Okay, now, this where we are is the intake. By engineering, it's called the intake. Here, sometimes you have to explain what is the intake. Yes, here is where we channel some of the water. We just channel what is sufficient enough for our generators, and then the excess is spilled off. So the other side where we are going to go when we leave this place is where our channel is, the one we followed where the water flows. Then this side we have the control gates. There are 3 number, these ones here, which are automatically controlled, but you can still use manual gates to control. So these ones control the level of the water, and that level is around 837.5 meters at sea level. So that level is our target. If we have excess water and we are having that level, it is we release and it goes. So that is the scenario right now.
How do you balance the environment element? So I think it is important to explain to my colleagues here so that they get to know.
We have the environmental flow. Actually, where we are standing right under, when you're standing somewhere there, you will see a constant flow here. That one, even during the dry season, as long as we have enough water, it is always flowing. That is the environmental bit.
How do you make sure there is sufficient water here, and also what you take is enough to allow you to generate power?
By design capacity, we are only allowed to take 100 cubics. 100 cubics is cubic meters per second. Those are 1 million jerry cans per second. In the channel, by design, the maximum we can take is 100 cubics, and 100 cubics can give us 46 megawatts for the first power plant and 41 megawatts for the second power plant. So Aswa HPP1 is rated 46 megawatts and Aswa HPP2 is 41 megawatts.
Will you already exceed your level, or it can still create another opportunity for having the third and fourth stations?
No, there are other two projects, actually three, which are under development.
Okay.
There is Aswa 3, Aswa 4 and Aswa 5. But we don't know exactly when construction will begin. But they are acknowledged as upcoming projects.
Okay, so there's still more potential.
Yes.
Have you ever had that experience where there is no water
Yes.
or insufficient water?
Yes, actually in January, this is a seasonal river. In January, we usually even have less than 10 cubics, and 10 can't give us constant generation. So usually what we have to do is to impound, meaning we close all the gates and we develop the reservoir. Then during peak hours, when people are in their homes, we generate. So that is the months of January, February, and partly of March and partially April.
You are maintaining this water level. What
Yes.
kind of pressure you want at the gate?
Yes, that is a very interesting question. You see, now from that water level, by design, that static head gives us the static pressure to push the design water flow in the channel. So that is the target. It is around, about 12. Yes. So that static head is what gives you the pressure as we open the gates to get the required flow in the channel.
Do you get debris? How do you remove debris that come along and maybe block the channels?
Okay, the debris, we have a gate. It is just there. It is called the desilting gate.
Okay.
So when we have high flows, we can open that gate, and instead of this overflow passing under these gates, it passes under that desilting gate. It sweeps out. Yeah, actually we are supposed to do that during these heavy flow months.
Okay.
Here the control room is where we as the operations department coordinate all activities happening in the power. And so through our control system and our SCADA system, SCADA is supervisory control data acquisition, we can monitor all pieces of equipment within the plant. That includes intake, forebay, and then within the powerhouse itself. So from the SCADA, we can also have a look at the different alarms and then the process parameters happening within the system. And that's where we can decide on whether to intervene or if the system is operating normally. And then also we have the different unit control boards. So our system, which is the SCADA, it communicates with the unit control board and then communicates with the equipment in the field. So there is an exchange of signals from the field to our control board and then to our SCADA system. Then also through the SCADA, we can operate all pieces of equipment in the field. For example, if I want to open the intake gates, I can send a signal from here and then I open the gate. I don't need to go physically to intake. But then also, if I want to operate from intake, I can go to intake and then operate. I just have to play around with the control level selectors. So if my system is in local, that means I can operate it from the field. But if it's in remote, I can operate it from SCADA. So I just play with that, either in local or remote, and then I operate my system. And so we have the unit control board and then the common control board. So we have unit systems and then common systems. For example, I hope you passed through the switchyard.
Yes.
You saw that we had 2 transformers. So those 2 transformers, we load them with all these units. So one transformer can share the load between 2 different units. So we term our transformers as a common system because all units can feed to those different transformers. So the common systems, like the transformers, are supervised from the common control board, while the unit systems, those are particular systems for the unit itself, are supervised from the unit control board. And then also there, if you move here, this is the line receiving protection panel. From HPP1, I think you saw the interconnection line between HPP1 and HPP2. So HPP1 brings to the receiving bay here and then to our common bus bar. So now this is the panel for that receiving bay, protection of the line. And then we have our battery system, our DC system. So we have systems which shouldn't go off. Like in case we lose power from the grid, these systems have to continuously be running. So we have batteries and a battery charger. This is the battery charger, and then this is the DC distribution board. So the batteries are always charged through this battery charger. The battery charger converts AC from our AC which you get from the system, and then it converts it to DC, and then it charges the battery. Then in case you want to use the power from the batteries, 24 volts, it comes from this distribution system. Then for those systems which are AC, but power has to be uninterrupted at all times, we again convert it through an inverter, also in the battery room, converts it from the batteries to 220 volts, and then supplies our system. Yeah, so irrespective whether the system uses DC or AC, we have power coming from our battery chargers, from our batteries. Then also you can see the cameras which will supervise everything happening within the plant. So like when you're at intake, you could see.
What should someone study to do the work that you're doing?
So you can study electrical engineering or mechanical engineering. For example, a mechanical engineer, he's an automotive engineer. Yeah. So we have people who are doing electrical, mechanical, and also automotive. Then maybe for the civil department, it's specifically civil engineering. But for operations, electrical, mechanical, automotive, you can work in operations.
Basically, all engineering fields are here. Yeah, and but also they employ other people, like secretaries, finance, but the core business is engineering. So, Chief, we have toured all over the place. We have seen water being diverted left, right, center. Can we see what that water is translating into in terms of production?
Yeah, so at our intake, we have, at HPP2, we have our rubber dam. I think you saw it when you were there. So what the rubber dam does, it forms a barrier to the normal flow of the water. So because of that barrier, it diverts that water through our canal. Then at the start of our canal, we have screens. Those screens prevent any debris, for example, logs from coming into the open channel. Because if those logs come in, it may damage downstream equipment there. Then also after the screens, we have intake gates. So the intake gates help us to control the flow of water through our channel. So for example, at the moment, we are generating 39.4. So we divert only the water which will help us generate that 39.4. So that's approximately 97 to 100 cubics. So currently, because we have high inflows, our net head is a bit low. So you find that normally we at HB2 we're supposed to generate 41 megawatts. That's with 100 cubic meters per second of water. But now because our net head is a bit low, with 100 cubic meters per second, we are unable to generate 41 and can only generate this 39. Yeah. So
Maybe they are talking about a net head being low. The question would be what causes it to go low.
yes.
So you find that when there are increased flows, there's a lot of water in the river. So it compromises on their tail raise, meaning that the effective head is reduced, as opposed to when the flows are a bit lower.
So then from our canal, all the water is diverted to the forebay, which is just up there. So also at the forebay we have flap gates. So what the flap gates do, it helps us control our water level within the forebay. So in case the water level exceeds what we need, it will be spilled off through the flap gates. And also those flap gates are for safety purposes, such that we don't have a high build-up of water at the forebay. So when the water exceeds what we need, it will be spilled off. Then also, adjacent to the flap gates, we have our penstock inlet gates. So the penstock inlet gates help us control the water which are coming to the units, to our generators. So each unit has its own penstock and its own penstock gate. The penstock is just basically a pipe which diverts the water to the turbine. So the gate, we open up the gates, then the water comes to our turbines. Then down we have what we call the main inlet valve. The main inlet valve is just, how can I explain? Like a tap. You know, when you want water, you open the tap. So that's how the main inlet valve works. So when we want to start our unit, we give a start signal through our SCADA, then the main inlet valve opens. The difference with the tap and ours is that here it's open automatically. We have oil, hydraulic oil, which goes to the main inlet valve and then it opens it. Yeah. So once the main inlet valve is opened, water goes to our turbine and then it can spin the turbine and then we generate power through the generators. Then from the generators, the power is fed to the transformers and then finally to the grid. Yes?
What revolution is the turbine turning at?
Pardon?
What's the revolution?
Yeah, so for our small units, we have 4 units. One small unit which is rated at 6 megawatts and then 3 large units at 12 megawatts. So our small unit is rotating at 430 revolutions per minute, while the large unit is at 300 revolutions per minute.
How often do you change the blades? How often do you change the blades in the turbine?
Turbine blades can go even up to 50 years.
50 years?
Yeah.
Maybe let me ask a question on our behalf. They told us there's 39 megawatts from HPP2. What about HPP1, which we didn't visit the powerhouse? What is it giving us today? So that we can get an impression of the total generation from actual projects.
So the difference between HPP1 and HPP2 is that HPP1 is slightly bigger. So I mentioned that our units at HPP2 are 12, the large units, 12 times 3, then 6. That's the small unit. At HPP1, the large units are rated at 13.2. That's 13.2 times 3, then 6.5 for the small unit. So the total capacity at HPP1 is 46. The reason why we can generate much more there than here is because the net head is higher at HPP1. So the difference between the level at the forebay and the turbine at HPP1 is around 53 meters. That's the net head. While at HPP2, currently the difference between the forebay level and the tailwater level is 46. So because of that difference, we can generate much more at HPP1 than HPP2. Yeah. But the flow is the same. The same 100 which we use at HPP1 is the same 100 which we use at HPP2. it's the net head which makes it possible for us to generate much more here than here. But the setup is the same. The units are the same, just that they are larger. The floor bay is the same. The unit control boards are the same. They also have 2 transformers which evacuate power. The setup is basically the same. The only difference is maybe intake of HP1 is different from intake of HP2.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Let me ask a layman question. How do you control the cleaner from standing on feet?
What?
The cleaner.
Oh, how do you protect the equipment from accidental operation by the non-technical staff? That's the question.
Yes.
I think if you enter there, there was a sign that control room authorized access only. So not everyone is allowed to come to the control room. And then operation of our systems here, it's only done by us, the operators. So maybe someone from maintenance cannot come. Even cleaning of
The floor.
the cleaning of the floor. Cleaning of the floor can be done by someone else, but they are not allowed to operate any piece of equipment. So
Maybe the answer would be, in my thinking, the cleaner works under their supervision because they will be here. But also, have you seen yellow? Something yellow.
Yes, yes.
Now that controls accidental
operation.
because those are like emergency knobs. You press it, system goes off. So they put it such that you only engage when it is an intention, not that you maybe you're touching it accidentally.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Understood. What social responsibility have you people undertaken since the project started?
So as Apire Limited, we are doing a number of corporate social responsibilities, both in Gulu and then Pade districts, because those are the 2 districts who are hosting us. In Pade, we are mainly focusing in Angangura, because Angangura is our host community. So we do both social, economical, livelihood. So under social, we are doing education. We have what is called Girl Child Scholarship. We started that in 2017 when the project had just begun. We had recruited 30 girls. So out of the 30, 5 dropped out during the COVID. 5 girls dropped out during the COVID. So currently we have 25 girls, of which this year we enrolled 16 in the university. And then we have 4 who are at the higher institution of learning in different institutions. Then we have 1 who is in her 2nd year in Gulu University. She is doing procurement and logistics management. And we have other 4 who are sitting for their A-level this year in St. John Paul. So that makes the 25 girls we are sponsoring. And still under livelihood, we also recruited some of the youths, and then we sponsored them in different areas of their specialization. So some of them did electrical installation, some of them did mechanical, some of them opted for bricklaying. So we also have what is called ecosystem restoration, the project we are doing currently. So last year we planted about 10,400 trees to the communities. We have different groups, even in the primary schools. We gave out the seedlings to them. Under culture, we did Lateng Hill, that is a cultural hill. So in 2019, there was a cultural activity. The cultural leaders, the Pungole clan, wanted to appease their gods. So what the company did, company supported them in some of the activities like buying the animals for slaughtering and then celebrating embracing the ceremony with them. So that one we did. So in case maybe they want to come and appease the gods again, they can always communicate to us, the company, and then the company will help where possible. And the livelihood still, the company recruited about 20 groups to support them in livelihood. So we supported them with oxen. We gave them a pair of oxen, and then also we gave them ox plows. We gave them seeds, soybeans, nuts, and maize. So currently, most of those groups are now multiplying these seedlings, and then their livelihood has greatly improved.
I would want only to know whether these are demand-driven activities, or you decide what to do for them.
We have what is called Community Development Action Plan.
Okay.
So this action plan, before the project started, we call it CDAP. Before the project started, they did a consultancy firm was hired to go down to the community and do what is called community needs assessment.
Okay.
So all these things we are doing is because of the needs assessment that was exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what other concerns do you get from the community about this project?
The community is happy about what we are doing. So their major concern is about education. So they requested us, if possible, we can also do boy-child sponsorship. Shouldn't be only the girls. We do community road maintenance. So we do it annually. I think maybe when you were coming, you use, I don't know the route you used.
The bumpy one, this one here, but you do routine maintenance.
Which one? Because there are two. There's one that you pass from the sub-county headquarters, then there's that one that you pass from Corner Ranch.
We came from Corner Ranch.
Okay, so for us, we always maintain, there's a community access road from Angangura, sub-county.
It's very bad, we cannot use it.
Yes, so we always do it annually when the rains have reduced. You know, if you have to work on it now, because the rain is too much, still it will be a disaster. So we always do that between November and December annually.
Okay.
You talk about giving tree seedlings. Are you giving the ones for fruits or both fruits and timbers?
Last year we gave out white teak and then the black teak. So this year, in this year's program, we gave out the fruit trees and then indigenous trees as well, tree species. So the fruit trees we gave, still we went to the community, to the beneficiaries, and asked them for what they want. So we identified a number of fruit trees, jackfruit, avocado, oranges, mangoes, among others. So we gave them out and planted them. The planting was done last week.
The indigenous trees that you were giving out, which ones are those?
The indigenous trees we gave out is the African red mahogany, that is Tido, and then acacia.
Partnership, because as an institution, big institution like this, we need to see a way of exploring how we can partner, so that end of the day we can support our local community. Because sometimes a big institution like this, our local community will live in fear. How do you go? Because normally when we pass here, people say, "No, reaching there, we find people with gas," but we are surprised.
Okay, concerning that, we have given liberty to people. We have site visits or site tours. So there are also procedures that we follow. Of course, when you are coming, it was communicated to us that you're coming. Even in home, you just don't ambush anybody. You need to communicate to a person that I'm coming to your home. Even actually these days, it was actually of then. Even nowadays, you need to communicate to somebody. So we gave out the liberty to people, like even the different communities have come, because here we have like people who don't understand English. I'm there, we have colleagues who can interpret to them. So you send in your request and then we grant you your request and then you come and do the site tour.